Mark, good morning. It's not usually morning.
I was going to say that totally relates to my question for today because we don't normally record in the morning. And I've got my cup of coffee here because I need a stimulant.
And I've already finished mine.
Okay, so you're a stimulant guy?
Oh, yeah.
So coffee, tea?
Oh, was that the question?
That's the question. What's the stimulant? Yeah. Something a little harder?
Well, okay. Yeah, confession time. So I do drink coffee in the morning, but I very often put a little Bailey's Irish cream in there. But it's not actually not Bailey's, but PJ's.
Look at that dark horse.
Oh, yeah.
So you Irish it up a little bit.
A little bit of a zing. Yeah. Okay. Does that make me am I approaching alcoholism?
No, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah. Only if you absolutely need it, then maybe. Yes.
Oh, I need it.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that our guest was drinking something too, so maybe she has an answer to this as well.
Jenn Grant. Yeah, Jenn Grant. Welcome to our podcast
show.
Thank you so much. I had a coffee this morning, and right now we're using an espresso machine. It's getting a little bit louder and louder, the espresso machine. I think it might be breaking, but we use half decaf and half calf. That's what I do.
Okay.
And then I boil a little bit of water to make it an Americano, and then usually I put some cream in it. And then just now I had a smoothie where I just aggressively shoved a cup of spinach in with some water and 1.5 scoops of my new favorite protein powder, which is called Good Protein, and it's chocolate fudge flavor.
Ooh. And how does that go with spinach?
Yeah, why not?
And that goes.
I gotta get it in right away.
Okay, good.
Get that stuff in.
My wife is a big fan of spinach. Yeah.
Edit out. I've got to get that in right away. Or you can leave that in because now everyone's in on the weird pervy non-joke I just made. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. So before we get on to other more important stuff, so you said you kind of turned the coffee into an Americano.
Yeah, I do.
And I know we're supposed to be focusing on you, but I have to ask Mark.
This is important.
Yeah. How do you do your coffee, Mark?
If I had an espresso machine, I would do a Canadiano as well. Because that's where my
Canadian.
Because we can't call it an Americano anymore, obviously. Sorry to all of our friends in the States. Yeah, if I could do that, I would, because that's my favorite coffee, but I just have a regular drip coffee. So
like an old school, like a pot?
It's like an old school pot, yeah, and I just put it on.
Before this, we were also using this percolator for a really, really long time. We go through different phases of stuff. We have like an old school vintage percolator, which is really cute as well. But it takes a long time. Where the espresso is right away.
Yeah, this is just a regular coffee maker. I put it on when I go have my shower. There's coffee ready. But I'm doing well. I'm down to just 2 cups a day now.
That's what I have. I have one after lunch.
So for a while there, I was at 4, 5.
This is a good segue actually because I once, so Jenn's a musician, obviously, and we'll get to that. I once worked with a musician. He was a guitarist and a solo performer. And one day he told me this crazy story where his fingernails were yellow. So he went to the doctor and he said, "Doctor, why are my fingernails yellow?" And then they went through various possibilities. And then finally the doctor said, "Just out of curiosity, how much coffee do you drink?" And he said, 3 or 4 cups a day. And the doctor was like, "Really?" And they went through it, and it turned out he drank 25 cups of coffee a day.
What?
Yeah. So
he was just saying 3 or 4?
Well, no, I think he just never thought about it. He just drank coffee all day long, and but I think the problem cleared up.
That is a lot of coffee.
I have to drink the half calf because I will get kind of anxious if I'm drinking just a straight. If I go out for a coffee, I'll get we could do the whole podcast just.
I think we could.
I would get like a soy cappuccino.
Yeah. Because Joe's Irishing up is my favorite. I will go for a fancy dinner, and I won't have dessert. My dessert will be an Irish coffee.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that's.
Joe, how long is this Bailey situation or JD been going on for a while? Someone else also just told me the same thing, by the way, and it was really surprising.
Oh God, probably close to a decade.
Holy shit! Every day.
No, not every day. No.
No, 5 days.
He's lying.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
a little something, something. It's
Yeah. You know, I
Hey,
just
it's
like
not
to
like
have
you're
a
doing a
little.
rail of Coke every
You're not doing
morning. I
Coke.
mean,
No, I just like to have a little coffee with my PJs.
is
Yeah.
it called JD or PJ?
No, it's PJs. It's PJs. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were. Yeah.
No, this is just. It's like a half price Bailey's Irish cream.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and arguably tastier.
It's Christmas every day at your house.
that is
There you
actually a
go.
Christmas. That's a Christmas
Yeah.
treat I will
Yeah.
have, but only on Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, so 6 minutes in, we're gonna move away from
Everyone's
coffee.
still like, oh, I'm going to tell you my coffee.
Yeah. So Jenn Grant. So we used to do this thing where we would ask our guests to tell us about themselves, but I'm going to attempt to introduce you properly. So you're a musician, a singer-songwriter. I met you years ago. You probably don't remember me, but I met you on Q with CBC Radio.
Of course, I remember you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, and we recorded your song "Dreamer," and I'm hoping you'll let me actually add that to the end of this podcast, that actual recording, because I think it's
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it's one of the recordings that I did that I love, that I'm like, oh, I'm capable of doing a proper recording. But I think it's actually more you and your musical ability than me. But also, you're from Atlantic, Canada. You were born and raised in Prince Edward Island, and now you live in Halifax. And I just love you don't hide your Atlantic Canadian persona at all. I just watched your video, Jim Cuddy's Dress, and it's got like the Gold Cup and Saucer Parade in the video. And I caught a glimpse of Rainbow Valley from Prince Edward Island. So very cool. Anyway, so it's great to have you here on Recreative.
Thank you so much. Do you want me to make any edits?
Absolutely. Add whatever you want to that. Yeah.
So I think that was really good. I thought you did a really great job.
Thank you.
And I'll just tell the listener that I lived in PEI till I was 10.
Okay.
And then I moved to Nova Scotia. And for the last 13 years, I've lived in Lake Echo, which is outside of town a bit.
Right.
Just to give them a sense of where I am. We're on a little lake. And it's called Jim Cuddy Dress, not Jim Cuddy's Dress. Is that too many corrections that I've just made?
No, not at all. No.
Just so you know, I want
we
you to be
like precision. We like precision on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And I have an ego like Arnold
podcast-
Schwarzenegger, so
Hey.
you can't offend me or anything.
I want this podcast to be perfect.
Okay, yeah. So I'm sorry about that.
There's no sorries here. We're all just people learning where we live.
Now, what do you remember about that recording with Q?
Well, I nothing. Barely anything. I mean, was that like in 2000 and...
It was 2007.
Yeah, it was 2007.
Yeah.
To be honest, the things that I remember about being on tour are what we ate, restaurants we went to, what did we eat.
Wow.
That's kind of the thing that I remember the most. I mean, I can remember... I mean, I would have had a band with me. I think I did, right?
Well, at that time, because we were just starting the show and we were doing the musical recordings in like a conventional packaging studio.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a big recording studio.
Yeah.
So we told we said, don't bring your full band.
Who
Just
did I
bring
bring?
like, maybe there was a
Bass
like
player?
a bass player, a piano player. And
I'm so
I'd have to
curious.
listen to the track again.
I'm so curious. Yeah.
Yeah. But like there couldn't have been a drummer because we didn't normally set up a full drum kit. But sometimes they'd bring in like a snare drum or something,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So they were like stripped down kind of acoustic recordings.
So I have a question for you for the tour, because I've always wondered this as a member of the audience.
Hmm.
Do you ever remember an audience? Is there ever a
Yes.
time when you go and like, wow, they were so into it,
Yeah.
or that are there
Yes.
places that I don't want to make you
No, it's
pick
fine.
one, but are there places that you've gone to multiple times you always think, wow, I'm excited about this show because I know the audience is going to be really great?
Well, so you guys are both in Toronto still, right?
No,
I'm in London, Ontario.
Oh, you
And
are.
I'm in Riverview, New Brunswick.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God,
Yeah.
sorry. I have a thing. I don't know if every artist feels this way or not. I feel like I really love my audience so much. There's lots of artists, even, contemporaries of mine that have bigger audiences than me too. But there's just something like when I think of London, I think of the Aeolian Hall.
Yeah, that's a great spot.
I can picture the audience there
Wow.
standing up, and like I can picture them. And like I played in New Brunswick last weekend and St. Andrews at this little
Okay.
festival.
Yeah.
And like I can picture like their many of their faces.
Really?
And
Wow.
I love my audience. Like I think they really understand me. I feel like they're loyal, and like, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm a mixture of all kinds of different things is what makes up my personality. And my shows, especially if I'm playing solo, there's a lot of stories that come from who knows where, and like a lot of banter and a lot of sharing. And I kind of feel like it's been a long time now. Like, it's been 20 years, and I feel like there's a group of people, especially in this country, that have grown up with me, and I feel devoted to them, I guess.
That's lovely.
I'm taking my wife to see you when you're
Where?
playing at the Capitol
In Moncton.
Yeah, in Moncton.
That's a beautiful theater.
It is, yeah. And we've seen a bunch of acts
And
there.
that show's going to be really unique. So I'm
Oh,
glad
really?
you're taking her. Oh, yes, very.
And is it a secret how it's going to be unique, or?
It's not really a secret, but it's a show that I've been developing for a year. I don't know. Do you want me to get into that right now? Like, do you want me to tell you about the show and stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to hear about this. Yeah.
Okay. So my new record is called Queen of the Strait. There's 2 singles out so far, Gym Cuddy Dress and Crazy. And the songs, like when I talk about the Strait, I'm referring to the Northumberland Strait. I have read a few places where people have said they think I'm talking about myself, which I'm fine with. I love it. Like, if I'm the Queen of the Strait, absolutely. But I am actually kind of referencing my mother.
Okay.
And so when I was a kid, my brother and our parents had this pretty tumultuous separation. And I was 10 and he was 8. And we moved to Nova Scotia. But there was a lot of kind of adventures that took place kind of in that process, where my mother was really heartbroken, but she took that heartbreak and she turned it into this series of magical adventures for my brother and I, like living at Marco Polo Land near Rainbow Valley for a while, and a motel. And that's what Gym Cuddy Dress is about. That song, that's what a lot of the record is about the adventures. But when my mother passed away, she met Jim for the first time. He's a dear friend of mine now, but she met him at the Junos in 2012 when she was wearing this dress. She had metastatic breast cancer, and she absolutely loved him. And then when she was dying, 3 weeks later, she said she wanted to be laid to rest in her Gym Cuddy dress that she was wearing when she met him.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a short version of what that song is about. But the record encapsulates all of these different autobiographical tales, and it's stories that I've, when I began as a songwriter, I was very metaphorical and whimsical, and as I am now a mother and in midlife, I really see things with a different perspective, and I see my lyrics as a real opportunity to share something that I think is important with the world. And so these songs, even though they're really personal stories about myself, are a jumping off point for other people to connect with their own stories. The tour is called Cradled by the Waves, and that's the waves of the Northumberland Strait. And it's a multimedia presentation. So I have been collecting childhood footage of myself and my family.
Yeah.
And that's being put together with some additional footage filmed by my brother, Daniel Grant, who's cinematographer, and Jose Garcia, who is our projectionist. And my goal for the show is that you're really like kind of entering a new realm to experience something with a group of people. And to enter into the show, you'll be entering through a portal that my husband is building right now. And there's just different things that will happen in the show that will make sense at the end of the evening. But it is a ceremonial, immersive experience for the audience to tap into their own stories and how to grieve well and love well, and what we can do as individuals and as a community to raise up humanity for the world and support each other. So that's my goal, but there will be a lot of visual and beautiful things happening through the stories. We're just playing the whole record. There's theater elements as well as dance and movement, and it will only happen one time. So there's 12 cities, I think, in Canada that we're doing this with the full production team Tanya Davis is in the show, if you know Tanya Davis.
She's been on this podcast.
Has she?
Yeah.
Actually, I read that. That's right. Well, she's like family to me since 20 or 25 years. And I haven't really announced it yet, but I'm going to. But we've been working together. So she's in the show, and she's part of the theatrical element of the show too. She's helping to tell stories of mine, I guess, or be kind of act as a version of myself, as my mother, as all women, or even all people, and kind of this other like realm. And so there's a lot going on in the show, and I'm really excited. At the end of the month, we're entering into our final workshop with everyone, where we will be finalizing and fully developing the show. We've had 3 workshops so far, and then it starts in PEI. That show is what you're going to be at. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's an amazing description. I imagine that your audience is going to love that.
They are going to love it.
Based on what you've said.
Yeah, they are.
So how much of like what you're thinking about is driven by how much you love your audience?
So much of it. I think that over the past few years, I've really come to terms with the fact that my job, I remember hearing Sarah Harmer say once that she sees being a singer-songwriter as an act of service. And I think that now more than ever, music and art are forms of resistance, and love is an act of resistance. And so I think that it's our job as artists, or anyone who can contribute to that, it's our role right now in this time in history, which is a big moment in history, to bring community and humanity to the world.
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
Jeez.
So there's maybe a segue here to talk about some of the art that you want to champion in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any art that's like that for you that touches you in that way?
You know, I had a conversation the other day with Alan Syllaboy for a while, and he's a Mi'kmaq artist from Millbrook First Nations, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Nice.
He's been practicing art for 50 years. He grew up on that reserve, and when he went to school, they forced him to forget his Mi'kmaq language and speak only English, and that was really hard for him. And he always made art as a kid, and then growing up, he felt like his art was kind of generic, he said. But what he started doing was him and his mentor, Shirley Bear, who sort of discovered him, who was a Indigenous artist from New Brunswick. She and he, because of a book that Shirley Bear found of petroglyphs, of the carvings in the rocks, she said we can be artists, but we need to be artists that are really saying something. So they started to and she's passed away since, but they both started doing this art with the petroglyphs, which he incorporated into all his work. I think he was recently awarded with Artist of the Year for Nova Scotia. And so his art is very colorful. And every day he does something also called the Daily Drum, where he paints a drum with a message for the world. And he incorporates sacred colors, like red is an Indigenous sacred color. And that was one of his first pieces of art that he did, was the red, I think it was a caribou, and he painted it red. It's all about, connecting to the Great Spirit and connecting to animals. And he has several children's books as well that I've been raising my kids on and teaching them about the first language of Nova Scotia being Mi'kmaq. Yeah, I think it's really important to teach our kids about reconciliation and that we are white settlers. And I really love teaching them about to be kind to animals and to each other. And so I think that learning from elders is really important, and learning the history of where you're from and how we got here. And Alan told me, he said that he felt like they were just invisible. And so our job, I asked him, what is our job as a white woman settler here? How can I help with honoring you and your art? And he said, just to learn about us. And I think I just think that's a really important thing. So I'm waiting to get an original Alan Syllaboy. Right now I have cards and frames.
Yeah, and that's why we like to get people on the podcast talking about art other than their own, to
Yeah,
bring them in and to champion them and
absolutely.
yeah.
I love
And
that
then tell
was
us,
so
yeah.
local and so like personal to you as well, the way you're describing that.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
And has his art in particular informed any of your own work in any way?
Yes, I did go to NASCAD and have a fine arts degree, and I had very bad stage fright before I was a musician. So I went to art school because it was I felt like at the time it was like my second love. But then I really started, but halfway through art school, I started playing open mics and my career kind of began without me even realizing it. And then I would just do paintings once in a while. But when the pandemic hit, I had two young toddlers, like a newborn and a toddler. And I also just started painting. Like I would stay up till 1 a.m. And I think that you're supposed to sleep when you can.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was more of a lifesaver for me, that I would stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning all the time, just painting in the kitchen. And then eventually we built me a little art studio. And so I've been painting a lot for the past 7 years. And I'm with the Proud Gallery in Halifax as well, which Alan is also a part of. So I think they might inform each other. Like my last record, it was called Champagne Problems. So after that, I did a series of portraits of all of the artists that I collaborated with, which was 13 artists, like Dan Mangan and Bahamas and Bougie and Amy Milan and Hannah Georges and Tim Baker and Kim Harris and Slow Leaves and Aquaculture and other people, Joshua Kamariak, Josh Q. So I had this art show with portraits, and it was during the Junos, so people were in town anyway, so this really sweet little opening. But originally I would do like abstracted landscapes with acrylic and mixed media. But when the genocide began, I just did a portrait of Bassem Auda, the journalist from there. And I was like, oh my God, I had not painted a portrait since art school. Like I remember in art school doing a portrait. My teacher, he used it as an example of like, that I did well. And I was so like, oh my God, he was kind of hard to people, he was kind of like like a
Curmudgeon kind of
curmudgeon-y.
guy.
Yeah. But his name is Jared, but I loved him. And then this is ridiculous. I'm all over the place. I did that painting. He loved it, whatever. And then one night I like went out, got really drunk, and I went back to NASCAD, like in the middle of the night, because you could go anytime. And I worked on either that painting or something else. And I fucked it up so bad. Can I say fuck on this podcast?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, we'll just label this one explicit. That's okay.
Yay.
Just one time. I just did a terrible job. And I remember the disappointment that he felt.
Oh,
Jerry
no.
Ferguson, the disappointment when he saw what I had done when I was like drunk in the middle of the night. And I never painted a portrait again for 20 years until the genocide started. And I did this portrait of Bassem, and I kind of surprised myself. I was like, I can paint a face. And then I did 5 or 6 portraits of journalists. And then we did all this auctioning and all this fundraising for a couple of years. But basically doing those portraits of the Palestinians led me to doing the portraits of all the artists on that album, Champagne Problems. And then I did this whole thing with animals, tons of animals. And now I'm kind of trying to circle back to something in the middle. It's a long answer.
It's a great answer. Fabulous answer.
No, don't worry. I'll edit that down to 5 or 6 words. But
I don't even think I answered your question, but I think that I think really what I want to say is that, like, yes, I do both of those kinds of art, but I think that there's, when if an artist to you, which it is to me, part of it is about like letting go of your mind and kind of tapping into, whatever you think God is, or then that's what happens when I'm painting, and that's what happens when I sing and make music. And I think the more that you do that, and the more that you can practice that kind of, letting go and letting something in, I think that they strengthen each other.
Yeah, that's the best too. when you can just go into flow like that and it just comes through you. It's an amazing feeling.
Exactly.
Will we see some of your art as a part of the multimedia component of the tour?
No.
Oh no. We can't.
There's a gallery. We know where to go now. There's a
There's a gallery.
Yeah, that's true.
However, I mean, there definitely was talk of me creating a painting to be projected in some way, which I just did not do. So I don't know. I feel like my brother filming stuff is kind of the art that I want to have in it. So yeah.
Yeah. So you said your brother's a cinematographer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about him, if that's okay.
Yeah. He lives in Guelph with his partner Tessa Fleming and their 2 kids, and he's my my favorite person. And besides my kids and my husband, they're all the same. I love him so much. But he's a very talented cinematographer, and he's helped me with a couple of my videos as well, which has been great. Him and his partner Tessa made the video for Judy, our song Judy, which was my favorite video we ever made that I wrote with Kim Harris. He shot some really beautiful things like Station 11. Did you ever hear of that show?
Oh, I love that show.
I know.
And it was gorgeous. Yeah. It was gorgeous.
He was a cinematographer for that?
Yeah, there was 2 cinematographers, but yeah.
I really love that show. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. I love that show so much. He's so incredibly talented. He also turned down He did Rivalry.
Oh no. My God.
I was devastated for 2 days. I watched it. I was like, Daniel, did you watch He Did Rivalry? And he was like, don't talk to me about that. I heard that. But, it just wasn't right for him at the time.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, he has the album that I've just made is dedicated to him. Yeah, he's just really, he's just a tall, handsome, incredibly creative, kind of thoughtful, quiet human. And we're just lucky to have him on the planet.
Is he older or younger than you?
He's 22 months younger.
Isn't it funny with siblings? We know down to the month.
Yeah.
That's how we think of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my sister, who's also a filmmaker, actually, she's a year and 1 month and 3 days younger than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Susan Rogers. Yeah.
Oh.
Was your mother artistic as well? And where's this cut? It's just interesting to me because I'm the only weirdo in my family that's artistic.
Yeah.
So where does it come from? I sometimes wonder. Yeah.
Well, I think it comes from a lot of places. My mother was one of 7 kids, and my grandmother was kind of like a singer and an actress, and my grandfather was a politician and a farmer and a double amputee World War II vet, and my mother was just like this really glowy, bubbling, positive, kind human that everyone loved, really good listener. And I think that she loved colors in food, and the food was always really beautiful. And my father is 93 almost, and he was a vascular surgeon, and he played piano a lot. And his mother was a painter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But different painter than me. And yeah, there's on my mother and my father's side, my parents' siblings were quite musical. So there would be gatherings,
I want to ask you more about the experience of performing, if I can.
Sure.
We would get these bands in on cue, and I'd record them, and nobody would ever make a mistake, which always amazed me. And I would just put up the microphones, and all I had to do is, bring up the faders, and everybody would sound amazing. And I'm like, how is that possible? And I think the recording that we did of you that I'm going to include in this, I believe was done live during the show. Did you ever worry before, that you were going to make a mistake? Or are you just so kind of experienced and professional that it doesn't even enter your mind?
I think there's a lot of muscle memory that you have to trust when you're going to play music. Right. And that if you start to overthink it, you have to tell yourself not to. Because I think for me, if I start thinking about stuff, it's never good.
Right.
But as far as making mistakes, yeah, I like to make mistakes. I think they bring out the humanness. So I've made lots of mistakes in front of people live, and usually it can be funny. But yeah, it's like you got to just let go of it and be like, oh, I might make a mistake. But usually I don't make very many.
Did you ever hear the story about Paul Simon? He said he hates the song "Feeling Groovy,"
Oh, yeah.
and but he will play it in his shows if he makes a mistake in the show. He'll punish himself by
Oh,
playing.
really?
Yeah, by playing "Feeling Groovy."
Oh, my God.
Well, there's
Yeah.
an interesting bit of psychology there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have anything like that. You don't have a song that you'll punish yourself with, or
Nope. Definitely not into self-punishing.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And so you said the tour coming up, you're doing how many dates? It's a limited number of dates?
It's 12 cities, I think, unless it's 11. But yeah, it's a one-time only thing.
In
Yeah.
Ontario, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, playing at TD Music Hall in Toronto.
Okay.
That's not too far for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no excuse, Mark. You need
Yeah,
to get out there. And,
yeah.
And is it because in part you want it to be a special limited thing? And, I imagine maybe there's some that you mentioned you have young children as well, so you probably don't want to be away from them too much.
Oh, they're coming. They're
Oh,
coming.
they're coming. Okay.
Yeah, they're all
Awesome.
coming. I honestly, I don't know. I think it's, I mean, it does make it special, but it's a production and it's expensive to do it. So we're not doing the small markets. We're just doing the major markets.
Makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
So that would be very expensive to put on. And I remember stories of like early Genesis, that they're always in debt, because it costs so much money to go on tour and put on these things. And it was decades before they were able to actually make their money back. Is that a concern? Is that something that you think about, or is that like other people's problems? Or
No, I'm definitely in debt. It's definitely really expensive to do this job. It's crazy. It makes no financial sense to me. But maybe I should word that differently. I feel like I have faith in what I do. And so I also have faith that the money will work itself out. And that has so far always been the case, that it has worked itself out. But it is an expensive thing to do, to go on the road. And then if you throw in a couple kids and a nanny, if you want to have a sound person, if you want to have a band, if you want to have anything. And on this tour, I never have my own lighting person and a projectionist and things like that, a little crew. And I'm so excited to experience that. But I think it's my dream show. And in some ways it's hopefully it can propel me into some sort of new level where I would be able to have more dream shows like this. But it's a very unpredictable, unreliable industry. And so I'm just grateful to be able to do it this time for these 12 shows. And if people go to the shows, if they fill up all the rooms, then that will be great for me. And if not, I'm still going to be grateful that I got to do it. But, to get people to go to shows is a whole other part of the business that is kind of like this hustling thing to get people to buy tickets.
Mm.
I have to try to make it fun somehow because it's yeah.
Well, and I think you do, because I've seen sort of a trailer on YouTube where your sense of humor just shines through.
Honestly, I'm lucky that I have that as a tool, because it's the only way I can do it. It's the only way I can get on there is to make it fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you do too. Yeah. The marketing. So Mark and I are both writers. And so the marketing thing is just a huge bugbear. Do you employ a marketer then, or is it a lot of it yourself? Or
I have a team, which is basically like its own label and management team, but not a label. It's all indie, I guess, is what you would call it. I work with my manager, Sheena Keane. She's in Ireland, and she has a company called Blue Grace Music. And basically, we've decided to just be independent for the last couple of records and just to own my music and to create our own team. So I guess for a marketer, a radio tracker and a publicist is what we have.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then let's sort of for each city, you're talking to the promoter and potentially adding on. I was talking to Jill Barber and Dan Mangan about how do you get the word out about this show in Vancouver, and what kind of traditional media do you recommend? And they're both kind of oh, I don't know, but postering. It's kind of we're going back to postering.
And the indie music angle. So indie music is cool, right? And it always has been. And I think
But people call indie music, even if you're on a label and stuff, not a major, they're still calling it indie. I guess I'm extra indie.
Extra indie.
Kind of. I mean, but I have this
Super
team. So
indie.
I'm like, I'm not independent. I have a team.
Well, see, like we're indie, like Mark and I are indie. So like I run a very small publishing company of which this podcast is a part, but it doesn't feel as cool on the writing side as it does on the music side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making it look cool. I'm just making it sound cool.
Yeah. You do sound cool. By the way,
Thank you.
I was listening to your music as I was working out this week, and I was listening to your cover of Eye of the Tiger.
Uh-huh.
It was wonderful. I was just like, wait a minute.
Thanks.
Is that Eye of the Tiger? That's Eye of the Tiger.
Yep, that's the one.
What made you cover that? Just out of
Yeah,
interest?
you know what? It was I think actually it wasn't even my idea. It was Mike Clattenburg's idea, who's a filmmaker in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
In about 2009 or 8. And he said, I think that would be really cool in this movie.
Oh, so it was for a movie. Oh,
It was for a
okay.
movie. And then I did it, and I just did like one take of it, I think. But yeah, people like that. And
I guess I really enjoyed your music. I really loved it.
thank you. Yeah.
And when you record, I've noticed that because I think and I'm going to get the name of the song wrong, Jim Cuddy Dress.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Was that live off the floor?
The whole album is live off the floor.
That's rare, isn't it, these days?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So the album was co-produced by my partner, Daniel Ledwell, and Joshua Van Tassel. And Josh had just made this album with Matt Anderson where they recorded stuff live off the floor. And he had such a good experience with that project. And I was hesitant because I thought, okay, that's cool, but I want to be able to do my vocals later. Because singing with a band, like, you know, because my voice, like, it's very affected by like emotion and like pitch can be very affected by all that kind of stuff. And I feel like the kind of timbres that my voice lives within, like it will slip into something very different depending on, it can change. I just feel like it can change, and maybe it's just me that hears that, but I can really feel like changes are subtle but make a big difference when I'm listening to my own voice recorded. So basically, we recorded it in this studio that we have here that Danny runs for himself. Originally, we thought we'd go somewhere else, like an Airbnb or something. But then we just thought, why are we doing this? Like, we have a recording studio on the property. I also didn't want to leave the kids. And I thought, well, yeah, okay, let's just do it here. And like, I'll do it while the kids are in school. And we had Christine Bougie come down, who is lap steel player, guitar player, plays in Bahamas, plays with Matt Anderson right now, is just absolutely so incredible. My dear friend and great bass player, Kyle Kunjak, who's from New Brunswick as well. And Danny and Josh. Josh was playing drums. Danny was playing keys and piano and like horns and stuff. And then Kim Harris. Kim was sick, so she had to do her backup vocals after. But we recorded it in 4 days. And when we were starting, I just kept saying to everybody, I'm not going to keep these vocals, just so you know. I'm going to be doing the vocals later. I also had a little area where I had like lozenges and like a puffer and like all these things because I had just had a really bad cold and I was still recovering. And then we did the first song and everybody was just like, yeah, that sounds good. And we just kept everything is live. And I ended up comping, like switching maybe 4 words on the whole thing. And I also had to let go of that idea of perfection because I decided that, especially, you know, this album being live off the floor is a bit of an act of resistance against music, AI music as well for me. Mm-hmm. But it was a wonderful experience. It was magical. It was 4 days. We covered the place in like special quilts and things like that that meant something to me. And we didn't have headphones on either. We were just together, really close, playing really quiet. And at one point, there was something that we heard and we were worried. We thought it was an amp breaking. And then we realized it was the candle flickering.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's how intimate it
amazing.
was. Yeah. So I love the record so much.
Wow. Yeah. It's just such a great way to do it.
It's like real music. We were like, this is an adult. We were like, we're making adult music.
Well,
like,
and
we're grown-ups and we're just like,
well, and it also translates all the energy of a performance, right? Because that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, energetically, I think this album holds something that is pretty sacred for me that I hope. And it's not on Spotify. I'm not putting it on Spotify either.
Why is that?
Because the head of Daniel Ek, the CEO of the company, who has come down, but he spent $6 million on AI military weapons to use
Oh,
against innocent people, as well as the ads that they were hosting to support ICE, to advertise for ICE jobs,
oh my
which
God.
like ended, but only because the campaign ended. It wasn't like Spotify saying we're going to end this now. It just ended. It was supposed to end, so it did. And then because more than 10% of all the music right now being uploaded to Spotify is AI generated music, and they're just creating more and more AI music to just take, and they pay the lowest to artists, and the money that they do take from the artists is going to things like AI military weapons. And to be someone who is trying to be a good person and an activist, I ethically cannot put my album on a platform that supports all of those things.
Holy cow. So I have a 1,300 song playlist on Spotify that I am now going to get rid of after this.
Well, you know what? It's easy. There's apps. I don't know what they are, because for some reason I don't feel attached to any of my playlists, but I also am not a big playlist maker. Like, I have one like birthing playlist that I would like to get, but there's apps where you literally just transfer over.
Okay.
And you can keep all that stuff. So that's great, though. That's great.
So I'm going to ditch Spotify after this, and I will, because I have to.
It's like that thing. It's like, once you know, now you know. What are you going to do?
I know.
I got rid of mine when Joni Mitchell and Neil Young told me to. So yeah,
wonderful.
I should have been paying closer attention. But what do I need to switch to? So switching,
whatever you like. I mean, I switched over to Tidal. I mean, I'm on Apple Music, which is the most popular one besides Spotify, and they are employing children in the Congo to dig through tunnels for cobalt batteries, and then sometimes they also get killed. So not a big fan of Apple either, but I'm kind of choosing, Spotify's, I think, the worst.
Okay, so we need to do our research, and we need to figure out
Tidal. I mean, Bandcamp is, for this album, I'm hoping that I'll be able to sell a lot of LPs. The album art is so beautiful. It's like it's a collage that Danny made of all of these photos that I chose from my childhood, and like images from PEI. And I'm excited to see them. I don't have the physical copies yet, but I think I'll be able to move a lot of vinyl to this like intimate crowd that's followed me, because I think a lot of them know what I'm up to with that stuff. And then Bandcamp is a way to support artists directly as well digitally. But I keep hearing little things like I need to do more research as well. But someone was like, well, guess who just bought Bandcamp, or like, and guess who's now the person who runs Tidal is problematic. But right now I'm on Tidal, and I'm buying vinyl. I'm buying records again. Making this record and leaving Spotify. I have a great record collection, and my kids broke my record player, but we got a new one, and we're back to spinning records. We just got, this week alone, we picked up Mariel Buckley's new record, as well as Aquaculture, our sweet friend Lance. His record came out a couple days ago. So
yeah, I lost all my vinyl records in a flood in 2008, and yeah.
Oh, no.
You need to get back there.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's nice in a chaotic world that is like, I mean, we need to have music digitally to like for our work and stuff, but to put on an album, I think more than ever is feeling like when our record player was broken for like a year, and when we got this new one just like a few months ago, and Danny put on Nina Simone, and it was like the whole house, I felt like the whole house just was like, oh my God. Like it just like shifted the energy in the whole house. And it's just like things like that, where we can do like small, like simple things that give us joy and pleasure that are tangible in a chaotic world feel really important right now.
Just the sound of that needle dropping and that little bit of static before the music begins. And
yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah. All right. So we probably kept you long enough. I want to ask you the first, what is the name of the artist again that you had mentioned?
Alan Syliboy. SYALAN SYLIBOY.
Perfect. Yeah.
Got
And
it.
we will get him up on, there will be a webpage associated with this episode, and we'll get him up on that as well as you. Mark, do you have any final questions, thoughts?
Just thank you for being here, and lovely to meet you.
Jenn Grant, thank you for being on our podcast, Recreative.
It's so nice to meet you too. Thank you guys so much for having me.
It's been a real privilege. Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Okay, take care.
And with a faint taste of cigarettes, you write a hallelujah song. Ain't it wonderful when you're feeling alright? So I tickle up your backbone. And at the break of day, you sank into a dream, you dreamer. And at the break of day, you sank into a dream, you dreamer, you dreamer, you dreamer, you dreamer. You dreamer, 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 you dreamer. On a date by a chocolate lake down by the Rotary, and past town at the edge looking down at a butterfly. And at the break of day you sank into a dream, you dreamer. And at the break of day you sank into a dream, you dreamer, you dreamer, you dreamer, you dreamer.
You've been listening to Recreative, a podcast about creativity and the works that inspire it. Recreative is produced by Mark Rayner and Joe Mahoney for Donovan Street Press Inc. in association with Monkey Joy Press. Technical production and music by Joe Mahoney, web design by Mark Rayner. You can support this podcast by checking out our guests' work, listening to their music, purchasing their books, watching their shows, and so on. You can find out more about each guest and all of our past episodes by visiting recreative.ca. That's re-creative.ca. You can contact us by emailing Joe Mahoney at donovanstreetpress.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.